Hello, everybody. I'm Laurent Bourgées, and I'm a software engineer working at the JMMC in Grenoble. And I'm doing this talk on behalf of the several people working in the JMMC groups. So we are in Grenoble, in Lyon, Paris, Nice. And today I will focus my talk on the observation preparation tools, the enhancements that we've made in the last 2 years. And we want to advertise more because there are interesting features. So some outline of my talk. So a very short overview. Then I will focus on observation preparation tools, the most interesting features, and how to retrieve or exploit your past observations. Explore astrophysical models. I mean, how you can simulate with polychromatic models. Send your hobby to ISO P2 interface. So it's specific to the VLTI. And then some very interesting chart topics that we made some improvements recently. Of course, we try to do a demo, so that's why my computer. So let's be short on the slide and spend more time on the demo. So the JMMC is the official description. So mainly it's a French network of scientists and engineers. We are in several institutes in Grenoble, in Nice, Paris, and Lyon, of course. And the goal is to provide the best environment for anybody, and especially for newcomers, to exploit to take advantage of the optical interferometry and techniques, and in particular its high angular resolution. And so we are providing tools and services with UEs, a graphical interface for best experience. And we also participate to the training. For instance, last year we were involved in the VLTI school online, which was really great. And also we are very interested to follow up with the new instruments and the evolution of the interferometers. So the classic, I think you've already seen this slide, so it will be short. We provide a lot of tools for the current interferometers. As Mercedes Fillot mentioned, the JMMC is also hosting the French Statistics Center. So we also have the user support. So the tools are here presented with a lot of nice screenshots. So we have observation preparation that will be the focus of my talks. Then we also have data analysis tools with the iFit Explorer to visualize your data. And then you can fit model with Fit Pro. Last year, we improved its performance on large data sets, especially for second generation instruments at the VLTI. And also this year, we have made a lot of improvement on the imaging tool to reconstruct images. And we'll have a talk by Ferriol Soulez next, just after the break. And then once you have your data sets and publish your papers, we encourage you to publish your data sets in the OIDB portal. And so you can share your data files and ensure reproducibility. We also have some catalogs, in particular the stellar diameter catalog at the CDS archive. So let's go on with a few interesting features. And so to answer the question, what are the previous observations, you can ask or retrieve manually on the ISO archive, but we developed a tool to easily get your past observation in S-Pro2. So there is the link on the tutorial. It will be very short. So you can query for your target the OBS portal database. It's a small database at the JMMC that is indexing the observation records, all observation records at the VLTI. And then you can really easily retrieve your information. and you have a lot of details, and you can filter by instruments. We are looking forward to having the same information for the chara logs in the future. And as an example, we are already working with the Spica team, the instrument that is made at Nice, in the visible. So there is a work in progress to have their logs here. The most interesting part is either you can see on the observability that you have some yellow parts indicating the past observations. But the most important thing is to do your UV coverage monitoring or to see how to complete your UV plane. And here you can see the tracks, the observed points are visible on the UV plane. So it would be better on the demo. And then how to take advantage of statistical models in ESPRO2. I'm not sure that you know that feature. You can provide what we call your user models. It's mainly how to give ESPRO a fixed image. In that case, it's a gray model. Or you can provide a fixed cube, giving the spectral information. And then here you have a nice illustration. You see that the image is really different in the bracket gamma line. And be careful, because when you are using images, it's really a bit tricky to have correct spatial sampling. Typically, the field of view is roughly 100 milliparseconds at VTI, but so you have to compute your image at a good scale. But but also you have to be careful about the spectral sampling, because you have to match what is supported by the instrument. You cannot use a cube that was made for Matisse for a different instrument and so on. So ESPRO will give you some warning in that case. We want to advertise the AMRA service that is also part of the JMMC. It's hosted at Nice Observatory. You have the link here. And the aim of this service is to provide several astrophysical models. You have a portal, and then you can easily compute on the fly. Here it's a BDIS model, and you can easily, with interoperability, send that in ESPRO. And here you can see in the bracket gamma line that you have a nice asymmetry of the model. In the demo, you can check here the field of view and the spatial resolution. Then you can simulate your data. It's with gravity in high resolution. And then you can see the S-curve in the differential visibility phase, and also some visibility loss here in the visibility. So go on. Once you have your time allocated for your observation, the ISO asks you to send your observing blocks to the ISO phase 2 interface. And so we developed a small tool in Python that we call A2P2. Let's say it's ESPRO to P2, but it can be more general how to send data to other tools. And so in the menu, you can select your objects, and you can click in the interoperability and send your observing blocks. Of course, you have to start A2P2. It's really easy to install. It's just a Python package. And then you select your run. And then you can send it will send all the observing blocks with the science targets, calibrator targets, but also AO target or target. If you are on gravity, you have a complex setup in dual beam. And then you can check on the P2 interface that everything is good. You have to be aware that in the A2P2, there are some rules that are computing some parameters, let's say for the DIT and so on. And also it can return errors from the ESO interface if you have some magnitude. branch that are not correct and so on. Then at the end, you can complete your OB on P2. You have to check it and submit at the end. To mention that you in Aspro you can create some groups. So you have a new tab here, and it's really useful because you can define some targets as neo star or fringe target star. And then with association here, you can say that here it's a stupid example, but that you observe Sirius B with Sirius A, and so we are close, and so the OBs and everything that is simulated is using the correct magnitude. To mention that you can also create your custom groups in order to make your own classification. And so you can arrange your long list of targets in this group. Then I will present some nice improvements on the Chara support in Aspro. So first, in the last release, I made a sort of reworking of the configuration to simplify the instrument list. Here's the new instrument where we merge all the duplication that we had before. And so you can compare with the same instrument with 6 telescopes or 5 and 4. And also we added a preliminary MYSTIC instrument as a special mode of the MERX plus MYSTIC instrument. For a long time, now it's done. We fixed the issue with pops that happens when you are the observation. When you are doing the observation, maybe you can lose a telescope, and so you need to really set the pops per station. And if you change your configuration or you change the instruments, the pop settings are maintained and properly computed and done. And also we adopted a more conventional label for the configuration, giving the station, then the pops. So it's really obvious and clear, and it will not be possible anymore to be confused by the Aspro widgets or kits. And to conclude on that part, we had a nice project with a collaboration with the Chara team, and to preliminarily support the coming 7th telescope. That is a mobile telescope, so it can be put at a lot of possible places. And so we prepared a new configuration with all possible mobile stations, and we generated all possible configuration with the mobile telescope with the former ones. And then you can see here in Aspro the very huge triangle with the 1 kilometer baseline. That's really close to this on the map. And to deal with that part, we expose a way to have a new configuration manager window, so you can load your files, and as an expert mode, you can tune and change already the interferometer configuration or the instruments. So let's go on the demo. Yes, of course, you have a nice JMMC website, and I directly start this code. So here, and so is it okay? I will enter target DOR44. Okay, so to get the observation, the past observation record, you can click here. It's hidden in the edit menu. You can select one object or all your targets, query the OSAR database. It's quite fast. Here it's saying that we have 89 records in the database. In the ESO archive, one record corresponds to one object, let's say few minutes on an object. So a lot, but it's not corresponding to 9. So here you have a lot of records. You can see that you have MIDI, gravity. Let's say I'm interested by gravity, so I can filter by instruments. And you see that it's object, and you have the high resolution. You can see on the observability plot, you have more details here on the tooltip with the exposure time and so on. And the most important thing is to see that thing. So and here you can have the telescope, so you can see that it was reality. So of course, if I'm using Pioneer, it's not corresponding. You can see that now it's corresponding to some multi observations. And see if I want to compute my movie plane, I can select smaller configuration or different ATs. So that's enough. And in this table, you have a lot of information that we can improve to filter out and so on. So that is important. Now let's go with astrophysical model. So, yeah. On the model part, maybe you already used the analytical part with this simple thing. So, interesting. Yeah, the user model, you can provide any feed file, it's an image or cube. So I have a lot of image on my computer. So this one is quite interesting. Let's go on the AMRA page. So this service is providing several models. And we use the first one, so you can see the here disk. You can pre-fill the parameters, because here the parameters are in terms of astrophysical parameters. So I'm not an expert on this one. So, you can compute on the fly at Nice Observatory. And also you can download your input file or your results. And then I can use Intel meeting with Pro and send. Yes, the file. So it has to perceive the file here. And then you have the nice animation. Can stop it here. See on the okay. And on the main process difference, you have here the warnings. So you can see that it's not correct for the instrument resolution. It's going high resolution. It's computing, and you can see here the loss. See that you have the square here. You see that I will go very quickly for two. I'm loading a simple observation, science target with calibrator. Of course, I have to start my machine, and then here I have the problem with my screen that is really huge. I have to select run with gravity, and then I can send this fence target with this calibrator. You can see we have the progress and the infinite. Okay. We have also a log. Okay. I can check. Tool. Yeah, I'm using a special account for the JMMC. Here. This one already did that several times. So you have science in the calibrator, you have counting, and then you can validate and check everything on the tutorial. And so on. Let's go really quickly on the chair aspects. So here on the chair side, you see immediately that you have new widgets, and also the semester are declared. So you see that you have the objects, you have the 6 telescope configuration, and then you can set the target to start here. Okay. Then you can, it has computed the best path, so you can set it, and then you can compare with the same setup with 5 telescopes. And so you can see that on this configuration or this one, you can have more time or go on longer on more objects. And that's great. On the Merck exclusivity, you see you have G, H, and K, so K exclusivity setup. And to illustrate the features with the 7 telescope, here I can enable a special configuration file with the stations and so on. And on the fly, you can see on the top that you have the charts, 7 telescope appearing. And then with the Merck acoustics, you have all the 6 telescope combinations. So it's really a lot that you can see. And so this is an ongoing project to validate and see what will be the first test with the new telescope. And just to conclude, I will go back to my slide and give you some hints on the roadmap. And so we have an ongoing project with the Speaker DBE project at the JMMC. And also we are working on our imaging enhancements this year. And the coming sprint will be on the iFit Explorer enhancements that we need to do some data filtering and processing. And later this year, we will work on the new version of the GSDC catalog, stellar angular diameters. We open more code on GitHub, so Explore and so on, all the configuration are now on GitHub. And I thank you for your attention, and I want just 2 key messages. Please report any problem or question to our user support. It's really pleasure to have feedback on new feature or any problem. And please submit also your published data into our IDP portal. Thank you.
Thank you, Laurent. Do we have any questions in the room?
Yes, please.
Just one. Christian, I think you were about to put your hand up. Ah. No, I think not. So. Okay, so there's one in the back here.
Yes, sir. Thanks for the talk. Just a query. How soon do you think there'll be NOI imaging user menu? Because I many times try to search documentation, but either it's maybe not centrally compiled, or it's too scattered, or it's non-existent. So if you could on that.
On OI imaging, we are working on the new version release soon, and the documentation is an important part and it will be updated. In the last release, you have some small documentation embedded in the interface describing a bit the algorithm, but please look at the talk from Ferrol just after.
Dan, do we have anything online? I see nothing. Anything else in the room? We don't have any online questions. Christian.
I just wanted to comment that it's really a great tool to have there, and it's also important for post preparation, of course, and just to see what you can do and what potential difficulties you might encounter if you don't get all the data and so on. So it's very useful. You can also download archive data from other projects and stuff.
Okay, so if we don't have any more, can I thank all the speakers from this morning session?